Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from robnunphoto.com, and today we're going to be having a look at a budget 48 LED ring macro light thing. I say budget, they're all around about the same price. Now this one I picked up from our local car boot. Can hear the dog screaming next door. Picked it up from our local car boot sale from some guys for about 20 quid. I've kind of, I've been into flash photography recently and experimenting with umbrellas and wireless flash and all this sort of thing, and the ring flash is a really exciting way of lighting subjects because it gives you nice even light with no harsh shadows, and it's kind of very fashionable as well in the portrait world. But real ring flashes are very expensive, very expensive, hundreds of pounds, and even adapters to turn your normal flash into a ring light can be quite expensive as well. So one of the things you'll see on eBay an awful lot is an LED ring flash. Now, as this one was only going for £20, I kind of thought, alright, I'll take a risk. Now, it didn't come in this rather nifty metal case. It came in a scabby little cardboard box that had seen better days, so I've taken it out. And if you're at the car boot, look out for these little metal cases. They're brilliant for your flashes and everything. Nice and foam inside. But it'll give me a chance to kind of show you what the ring flash is all about, what you can do with it, and its shortcomings. So because you tend to get quite excited by the thought of having a ring flash, and sometimes you'll see these in the listing. They're advertised as LED ring flashes, but they're definitely not a ring flash. Some will turn on and off when your flash fires, but this one stays on all the time. And in fact, the thing I've used it for most over the last few weeks has been as a video light, and it works really well for that. Okay, so here we've got our ring flash. That's the kind of business end with the 48 LEDs, and then also inside it what you'll see is a power pack, which I've managed to leave upstairs. Bear with me while I just go and grab it. Apologies for the short delay. So this is the power pack, and what we've got in here is 2 AA batteries, but it will also run off a mains adapter. As you can see there, you can plug it in to the side there, and that's kind of, you'd think, well, what do you mean a mains adapter? Surely when you're using a ring flash, you're going to be jumping around the studio taking lots of different angles of models and things like that. But that kind of hints as to what this particular light is very good at, which is helping you with macro photography. So we've got a power pack, we've got a ring flash, we've got our mains adapter, and then you get all these different rings, and these are little adapters that screw on the end of your lens to take a ring flash. So here we have my trusty 350D. Take the end off, and it has a 58mm ring, so that's a 58mm ring. Very gently, so that can go onto there, like so. The ring flash slots over the end, like so. That's just smart, isn't it? And then the power pack, where it's gone, you can sit that on the top if you so wish on your hot shoe. Now it has no interface with the hot shoe. The hot shoe does, all the hot shoe is doing is holding the power pack, and then you plug in to the side like so. And then what we can do is we just, where's the switch? There's the switch. And I won't shine it straight at, but there you go. Now on the ring light itself, you've got another switch. You can have the whole of the ring light on one side or t'other. Now on the video you might think, wow, isn't that incredibly bright? And in fact I've only got half of it on there. Let's put it all on. There we go, look how bright that is. Whoa, that looks amazing, doesn't it? Let's just turn it off to conserve my batteries. And you'd be right, when you first turn it on you think, wow, that is really bright, that's going to be fantastic. However, the shortcoming of the 48 LED ones anyway, and I'd imagine probably most of them, is that the range is very low. Because the light intensity isn't that strong, you'll be using this mostly for macro photography. That's where I've had the most success, and I'll show you some macro shots at the end. And I might even try and get some portraits one in if I can persuade Oliver to become my subject for a while. Money will probably pass hands. But it's very good for macro photography in terms it gives you lovely, flat, even light. So, you know, if you want to put it on to your your extension tubes with your, for in my case, an M42 lens, it gives you a nice bright light source from which to light your flowers or insects or whatever it is. That gives you a really good aid to focusing and gives you nice shadowless images. But there's still a caveat to this. It's still not bright enough to do handheld macro photography. You can't with the 48 LED ring flash. You'll definitely still need a tripod. So you're using it as your light source, but you're still going to need a tripod to light your subject. I found that I did quite a lot of experimenting, and that was definitely the case. Now, I have taken some portraits already. Well, I say portraits, snapshots using it, and the only lens that it really worked with was the 50mm 1.8, the nifty 50, because with that big fat aperture, you know, you could put the ring flash on, and when you're shooting at f 1.8 or around that area, as long as you were pretty close in sort of headshot range, you would get that a ring flash look kind of thing. However, obviously, even with a 50, when you're moving in that close, you do start to get a little bit of perspective distortion on your subjects, and it's not that flattering. Normally you'd want to be out at about 80mm, don't you, when you're doing portraits and stuff. So that's a little bit of a drawback as well. Now, this, remember, is always talking about with my 350D, which is, I don't know, it's 7 or 8 years old. My mobile phone has more megapixels than this little beast. So perhaps for you, if you're shooting with a more modern camera where you can shoot at ISO 3200, ISO 6400 and the pictures look great, then that'll be a total different kettle of fish. You'll be able to use the ring light, the LED 48 ring light, and stuff will look great. But for me, if I go above ISO 400 on the 350D, everything starts to look grainy and flat, and you start losing texture and things. So it didn't really work. But as an aid for macro photography, so far I found this very, very good. I think my next purchase, if you like, in terms of this sort of thing, will be something like an Orbis. Is it the Orbis ring flash adapter, which turns your ordinary off-camera flash, your big flash, into a ring flash? They look very interesting indeed. However, they do go for well over £100, so we'll have to wait and see, probably for Christmas or something like that. But as of now, something like, if you're thinking about trying out something like the 48 LED macro ring flash or macro ring light, remember, it's only really good for macro photography. You'll still need to use a tripod, and if you do want to use it for portrait photography, you'll be using a very wide aperture, and you'll be pushing that ISO up nice and high to keep your aperture, to keep your shutter speed fast, and also to make sure you don't get any camera shake or subject blur. Okay, so that's it from me, from robinonphoto.com. Remember, if you've got any questions, you can always email me at scalespeeder@gmail.com. Emails on the back of the video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully pretty soon I'll see you on Flickr.